We have our printed skill set rubric, and this time I'm going to try to capture notes on the computer as we go. So we already know there were a couple of changes on the learning objective, which I did make notes. So we have Rachel will collect data on Adeline and or Christian using two different tools. Okay, so now we know which ones. So let's write those in.
Okay. Behavior data scatter plot. And the ABC data sheet. And that's funny. The ABC data sheet I use for my kid looks very different. It says, do you know a capital letter A, a capital letter B, and the sound they make? That's my ABC data sheet.
Okay, so Rachel will collect data, or data, potato, on Adeline and or Christian using behavior data, scatter plot, and the ABC data sheet 3 times each within
About within a 2-week time frame.
within a 2-week time frame. To inform the function of the children's behavior. Alright, save that. Now, skill description 1. Would you like to work on skill descriptions first and get those in order before we do the rubrics on them?
That really makes sense.
Okay.
That really makes sense. And okay, I was just trying to think if just like kind of listing things might be helpful first.
Like I know
Really
on one we
starting to
gathered the materials. I know on one we
Write them
did.
all down, yes. And so we would need a gather materials.
I'm just going to put over here in comments to remind me. We've got let's just be specific. ABC data sheet.
And the scatter plot.
Is there anything else that goes with them? Like, do any of them have timers or?
No, but you know what I'm thinking is that even before I gather materials, I will need to individualize the materials. So I'm going to need to make I'm going to have to like fill out the schedule.
Oh, you are so right. Okay, so I'll put that, should I put that down as a number 2 then? Or,
Well, see, that's why I'm thinking that I need to just write things down and then go back, because that's going to have to be number 1. First, I'm going to have to
right.
individualize
You're right,
those.
so I'm just gonna move gather materials to 2 unless we need to move it again.
Yeah, I'm with you.
would you call that one individualized tools?
Or just individualize. And then my,
Data.
kind of my description. Well, I guess that's what we need to do later. Yeah, individualized tools.
Okay.
Gather materials. Okay, so I'm individualizing them. You know what, actually I'm thinking that it is going to help me. I'm thinking if I go ahead and do some breakdown now. Because I'm thinking about individualizing now and what that means. So for me to individualize, I would need to individualize the scatter plot and the ABC data sheet for both Christian and for Adeline. So to me that sounds like that would be the net. I was just thinking what would I have to do? Both of them would have to be individualized for both children. So if I'm filling this one out for Christian, this is what it needs to look like. If I'm filling this one out for Adeline, this is what it needs to look like. And then the same for the other.
Okay.
And I think for me as I'm looking at this and the point of the thing that seems like a met or unmet. I don't think you can partially meet that and have it work.
Okay.
Really get any information. Because you can't really fill it out if it's not individualized or filled out to a specific kid.
Okay, so do you want to make MET as
Scatter plot and ABC data sheet, or individualized scatter plot and ABC data sheet with the, I was thinking, oh, you weren't there. We just did that teapot training, and she kept saying if it's bold, that means we really mean it. So that and would be bolded, scatter plot and ABC, ABC data sheet.
I'm with you.
For both Christian, bold, and Adeline.
Okay.
Those are the key words. And is important. This isn't an or.
It's ABC sheet?
ABC data sheet.
Okay. Adeline is a Y-N? Or is it A-D-Y-L?
You know, I'm hoping I'm spelling it right. Adelyn.
That's what I have so far. Okay.
That's what I've been putting too, and then I kind of thought for a second, I wonder if I'm spelling that right.
Yeah, because names can be so
I'm not
different.
ever really spelling it because she's never really been officially in my class, so I need to make sure I'm looking at that, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
Now,
might
I
just be
think there needs to
babbling.
be just a little bit more to it as being complete. Like,
So like, what does it mean to individualize?
Completely? Completely? You know, like not just part of it? Or is that enough information?
Well, so I'm thinking if I hand this off to, I'm thinking the intention is I should be able to hand this off to Emily and she should be able to check yes or no. And so really what I am doing is leaving this up to my interpretation of what does individualize ABC data sheet look like. So for the ABC data sheet, it would be listing or defining, I should say defining targeted behavior in parentheses S.
Targeted behavior parentheses, S, comma.
So that's really the individualizing of it. So I guess there are two parts. There's the filling out form and the individualizing the form.
Right, and we're just doing the individualizing right now.
So I'm wondering,
How about, do we need
because the name
teachers,
is gonna be, well, that's,
teachers?
well, see, I'm saying that's kind of like filling out. Should that be individualizing? It's like,
I think so.
you know, I'm just saying this.
Yeah, I think it includes all of that.
I don't know how to say that.
So I could just add those. I could just say
Right,
defining
name.
targeted behavior, name of child, name of teacher.
Name of teachers. Teacher in parentheses S.
Okay.
And they have month and year
Okay,
on the top.
Yeah. Yeah. Month/year.
So that's the ABC data sheet, okay?
Oh, and I need to specify that too. Okay, so individualized scatter plot and ABC data sheet for Christian and Adeline defining, okay, for, I'll make that the last since we said scatter plot first.
Or maybe just as a number one, individualize, how about we do it this way? As the number one skill for MET, individualize the ABC data sheet with, and then those things listed. And then number two, or for both Adeline and Christian. And then the number two would be individualize the scatter plot. And then we can say the specifics of what that individualization means for both Christian and Adeline. So
Okay,
it's 2 steps.
so individualize number one scatter plot?
ABC data, because that's one we just did.
Okay,
So individualize ABC data sheet.
ABC data sheet. And two is scatter plot. Okay, and then we'll put one in front of whatever we come up for that one. And we'll put two by defining, in front of defining. Two goes with scatter plot, what we just
Let me
defined.
see what you're doing, because I don't know what you're saying when you mean 1 and 2 now. And I'm not talking steps, but
No, not steps, just you're referring to the scatter plot and what that means to individualize. And then you're gonna do, and I'm gonna switch these to say one, well, I just have these backwards. One data sheet. I'm gonna put, what am I doing, copy?
I see what you're doing, okay.
Okay, and that was, number one was the ABC data sheet, and two is the scatter plot. In bold. Okay, and then I go back. Right?
No, you want to leave that.
Well, I want to leave defining for, did I just write something I shouldn't?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I'm thinking what we need to do is the number one, individualize, or even just put here, number one, individualize ABC data sheet by defining targeted behaviors, name of child, name of teacher, month, year, for both Christian and Adeline.
Okay.
So totally forget about scatter plot right now. Like,
Okay.
scatter plot doesn't exist right
Do
now.
you want me to just write scatter plot right now?
We can leave it, but we'll get to
Okay.
it later. So just write and move your 1 to in front of individualize.
Okay.
So the first thing that I need to do is individualize the ABC data sheet by defining targeted behavior, blah, blah, blah.
And put a
So we
1.
can copy paste it there.
Okay. After the sheet, do you want that?
Mhm.
Okay. After
right
sheet.
there. And
And
then
then
here would be
Can I go
for,
ahead and erase the?
uh-huh, yes. All the way up to here, all the way up to that number 9.
And erase 1.
Okay, so then after year, we'll do comma for Christian. And then on the other side of that bold and, we can leave that bold and just write Adeline on the other side of it.
Oh, yes.
Because it's already there for us.
And we like it bold.
Like the bold. Okay, so the first thing is to individualize the ABC data sheet by defining the targeted behaviors, the name of the child, the name of the teacher, the month and the year for Christian and Adeline. Then the second thing I'd have to do is individualize the scatter plot.
And we had that after. Remember?
Individualize.
You are so savvy on the computer.
Okay, so individualize the scatter plot, right in front of the and by, so here we have inserting name of child, week, fill out schedule for mixed age room because that's where they are. And define, and unbold and define behaviors and behavior key. Or define targeted behaviors, I like that word targeted. Because it's really about the behaviors we're looking for. And we
in
should use
parentheses-
behavior because you were saying in the mini training that you need 1 sheet for each behavior.
On this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Or was this the one that had the cluster of behaviors too?
It does, this can cluster.
Okay. So should I put parentheses, behavior?
I guess that makes sense because we know what we're doing. Yeah.
Okay.
And define targeted behaviors on the behavior key.
Oops. Okay.
For both Christian, and then we use that little bold and waiting there for us. And put Adeline on the other side.
Yeah, so I'm not sure that doing it this way is saving any time, but hopefully it is. Do you want to?
It'll save you time later.
I know, but in terms of the video, I'm wondering if we want to just write it down in pencil. If you write it down in pencil, I'll try to keep up with my computer.
Okay, that's totally up to you.
Okay.
You can decide what you want to do there.
Okay.
For your needs and for your learning. All right, so there was our individualizer.
So you don't have to rewrite this one because we do have that one down.
So then number 2 is the gather materials.
Oh. You
You're
know what
thinking of something.
Yes, that was the met. Now, unmet is,
Oh,
it's just unmet, right? It's either met or
met
it's
or
unmet.
unmet. So the unmet is any of the above not being completed
Right,
in full.
okay.
Because I really think it kind of negates the purpose of the tool if you don't really do that in full.
Okay, that's not how I want to say it. How do I want to say it? Missing any elements of above?
Mm-hmm. That works.
Okay. And number 2, did you have gather materials?
Yes. So I'm going to think about this for a second. Sure. I'm thinking my materials are going to be, I'm looking at my data sheet. And for Adeline, this has date, time, and initials. Now this is interesting because now I'm thinking about how I was defining 3 times each
Mm-hmm.
and looking at the paper. I was thinking that can be defined differently for different people. So we might need to go back and change the wording or just have our definition somewhere of what does using the tool mean. Because what I'm thinking for my practice is that I would want to look at it at 3 different days. Use this 3 different days.
Okay.
Not if there's 3 incidences in one day. I'm like, oh, I wrote down 3 things.
Okay.
Or that I'm filling the entire paper out 3 times.
Okay.
I was thinking, wow, there's lots of different ways that you can look at that.
So what do you prefer?
So I would like to do this on 3 different days, writing down every incident that I can
Okay.
over
3 different days.
over the course of 3 different days.
Okay. Let me get my. Well, let me just get it on here since I already have it typed in here.
Yeah, it is there.
Help me figure out how to change what we have on the skill set rubric, and then I can reflect that on the professional development plan.
Data
Okay.
using the behavior scatter plot and the ABC data sheet. On 3 different days each.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
And the way I understand that is that they could be on the same days. Like, you could be doing one on Adeline and one on Christian on the same date.
Yes, that I could be doing the behavior
Sure.
data on July 1st, and I'm doing the scatter plot on July 1st.
Or they could be different days if one's absent.
Or that I can, and see what I'm thinking is, like if I come in, I'm just using July 1st, I have no idea what that is, that I might come in on July 1st and do this schedule for him, especially here, I'm gonna say, so this will need to be filled out for 3, I'll have to have 3 different days completed on here. And then for the ABC data sheet that I will have, for this date, I will need to have at least 3 different dates filled in here. And I might have 1 incident on the date, and I might have 5 incidents on the date, but I want to have 3 different dates
Okay.
on theirs. Yeah.
Let's see, so I need to take off 3 times, the 3 times part.
Yeah, you can leave the 3, so it's just on
3
3 different days each.
Within a 2-week time frame. That still stays, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put
That
some
makes
commas.
sense.
I need commas.
I didn't think about that until I'm looking at the sheets and thinking how many, when I'm saying I'm gathering materials, how many copies of each sheet do I need to have? Was what I was thinking, and that's when it led me to, oh, well, that depends on what you mean by 3 different times now, doesn't it?
Right. Okay, so Rachel will collect data on Adeline and or Christian using behavior, or do we want to say and Christian instead of it have that or there? Do we
No,
still
and
need
or
one?
Christian.
Okay,
Yeah.
Rachel will collect data on Adeline and or Christian using behavior data scatter plot, and the ABC data sheet on 3 different days each within a 2-week time frame. Okay, comma, I have to have a comma there. To inform the function of the children's behavior.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, so then I'm thinking out loud here.
Mhm.
For the ABC data sheet, I would like to have, because I don't know how many incidences, I would like to have 2 copies of that for Adeline, and then I would need 2 copies of that for Christian. Okay, so I think we can do data sheet now. ABC data sheet. Individualized ABC data sheet. Or maybe we should do it this way, 2 copies. I'm going to make you go back over and over and over again. 2 copies.
Not a problem. Only, am I on gathering materials?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And so
I'm
for the
thinking
Met,
number 1 would be 2 copies of
gather 2 copies
of individualized ABC data sheet for both Adeline bold and Christian.
should we add a pen or a pencil? A writing utensil?
Yeah, writing utensil and clipboard.
Okay, would you prefer a pencil or a pen?
Pencil.
Okay.
I'll put pencil and or pen. Does that really matter? Pencil and or pen.
Is that all we need?
2 individual copies of the ABC data sheet for Adeline and Christian.
Pencil or pen and clipboard.
And then I need to have 1 individualized copy of the scatter plot for both Adeline and Christian.
Okay. that's the net.
Mm-hmm. And again, I think that's a met or unmet, because if I don't have those things, then I'm not gonna be able to
Okay, I'm gonna make the
fill out.
language the same. Missing any elements of above. Okay.
Now I'm gonna throw you a loop again.
Okay.
Copy and paste all of that onto number 3.
Okay. This is exciting. You got my curiosity. Copy. Let's do this the right way. Copy. It's so nice not to have my cat here.
Walking all over your keyboard.
Yes. And what do we call number 3?
Number 3 is gather materials.
Oh, because we thought of something else before.
Yes, yes.
Aha.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I said we need to copy and paste everything down to number 3.
See where you're going.
Yeah.
Paste. Okay. All right. Oh, gather materials. All right. So what do you have for number 2?
Communicate with teaching staff. I need to let them know what I'm doing, especially if it's I'm not going to be engaging in this process with this kid because I am trying to collect data.
Okay. Erase box number 2.
So I'm gonna need their understanding and support of what I'm doing and why.
Okay. What are you gonna do with teaching staff?
Communicate with teaching
Okay.
staff. Communicate, maybe plan, communicate and plan. I'm thinking I don't know how we want to say that.
Yeah, and I think keeping it simple like that, or you might want to change it to plan, but once you get the rubric met part, then if we need to change it, if it makes more sense to change that. Okay. So, how do you want to do that?
Okay, so I'm seeing that I would need to inform all staff in room of my learning objective.
Multi-age room.
Mm-hmm. That's a good.
Inform all staff in the multi-age room of the PBLO. And I'll spell it out. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
where'd that go? Kind of looks like Pueblo, but I use it a lot. Okay.
Okay, so I need to inform them of my objective, and then I need to plan strategies for, I'm just going to say this and then maybe you can help me with the wording of it. Plan strategies for my being able to observe behaviors. And then at the end I'll say that would be on a daily basis. Because it's, okay, I'm coming in on Monday, I'm going to be doing this, I need to be watching these 2 kids. So we need to come up with a plan for when a behavior occurs, I'm going to be writing things down, so that means somebody else needs to be dealing with the behavior or something, you know?
Okay, how about plan strategies for scheduling your observations?
I don't think it'll be a scheduling my observations, because my observation's going to be all day, but it's going to have to be, at sometimes I'm just going to be observer fly on the wall, but it might be sometimes that I'm scheduled in that room, and I have to take responsibility for things, so that means I need somebody else to be dealing with that incident, so I
Okay,
can
so
be
you
dealing
want to
with my
say it
paper.
differently than scheduling, okay.
And strategies for,
for when you need to take notes.
or maybe just even plan strategies for my observations.
Okay. Is it okay if I just put for the observations instead of mine? Okay.
And so I'm putting there example, who deals with incidents involving those two children.
Okay, maybe interacts with children. I'm just trying to think of a word.
It deals is not a good.
Deals with, let's just deal with
Deals
this child.
You're right.
Deal with
Not
that
good
child,
word.
please. Who interacts or responds.
Responds.
Okay.
That's a good word.
Who responds
To incidents
to incidents.
involving Christian and or Adeline.
Alright.
Okay, so I'm letting them know what I'm doing. I'm planning a strategy with them, on a daily basis. Or each time observations occur, each day observations occur.
Each day